Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Married at First Sight, season 15, episode 15. Sorry I'm late, y'all. I had something to do, but now let's get into it if we gonna get into it. 8 days until decision day. Baby, decision day can't come fast enough. Do y'all hear me? So when the episode first opens up, Miguel is still talking, to the people about what happened with him and Lindy. Child, I'm so sick of you and Lindy. I don't care what's going on with y'all, quite frankly. I really do not. Miguel, you're a gaslighting narcissist. Lindy, you need manners, honey. I don't know if you need a class or I don't know what's going on, honey. But some of the things that you think are your personality traits are just things that nobody in their right mind would accept, okay? Now, I'm not excusing Miguel because Miguel ain't worth a damn. But, Lindy, there are also things that you need to work on. So, therefore, and thus and such, both of y'all are getting on my nervous system. But, y'all, let's continue. So, Mitch said he feels like Miguel is, at his wit's end and he has specific ways that he wants his wife to be. And Lindy basically ain't it, okay? She's not a subservient wife. And so, it might not work. So, Lindy is telling them, over there where she is, that, she feels like eventually she's going to start to feel like she's on edge and she can't operate like that. She feels like she's filtering herself and she doesn't like that. So here go Alexis. She gonna try to offer some advice. I mean, what me and Justin do, ma'am, pause for the cause. We don't give a damn what you and Justin do, okay? Because you don't know how to act either. I wouldn't take not damn piece of advice from Alexis and her braids. Not none. Do y'all hear me? I wouldn't take nothing from her because girl, you can't tell me how to behave because you don't know how to behave. You don't even respect your husband. So that's that on that. Moving forward. So Mitch tells her that, he just needs to accept her for her and they have to work on their compromise. So Nate is sitting over there looking like, child, oh my goodness. Anyway, girl, just compromise, okay? Y'all got to do teamwork. Just work together because they get on Nate's nerves. Y'all know Nate can't hide it, honey. When they get on his nerves, he gonna say it. He gonna say it in that confessional. You gonna see it on his face. Stacia was getting on his nerves this episode. Baby, that was good to me. But anywho, I don't want to jump ahead of myself. We're gonna get into that. So Lindy feels like Miguel is trying to control who she is. And I do feel like he's trying to control her, especially when we get to the end of the episode. But y'all, we're gonna get into that. Anyway, she feels like he's trying to control who she is and that he's never going to accept her. And whatever she says, it has to be what he wants to hear. So she's sitting over there off to the side, right? So he walks over to speak to her. He's like, can I come or you want to be alone or what? So he goes over there, right? So she tells him, that she was just over there crying for 45 minutes to the friends because she feels like she can't say or do anything right. So he was like, no, I just wasn't really angry. I was just annoyed. I was very annoyed. She was like, well, it was very scary. Like, I don't even want to get in the car with you. Wow. They must have edited that part out because that must have been quite an outburst if she don't even want to get in the car with you. These two don't need to be together, honey. They just don't need to be together. So Miguel tries to explain. He's like, no, I wasn't that angry. I was more so annoyed. My heart rate was up because of the game. Not you blamed it on your heart rate. Not you blamed it on your beats per minute. Sir, you've been an ass all weekend. You've been pissy all weekend. And you need to get it together, like ASAP. So everybody's over there watching, right? Because they're wondering what's going to be said between the two. You see the cameras panning over to everybody's face, trying to figure out if it's going to pop off or not. And after he explained himself, I guess she calmed down a little bit and she's willing to get into the car with him. So on the way home, we see Stacia and Nate there in their car. And, Nate is saying he's ready to get back to civilization. And he was like, it was amazing for me, but not so much for other people. Over with Lindy and Miguel, they just riding. Kristen and Mitch, they're also talking about it. But when we get in the car with Justin and Alexis, she's like, yeah, Nate was saying Stacia was a freak. I wish I could be a freak. He said you can be a freak. Girl, you talking about that one time? That was only one time. It happened once. Like, I'm really going to work on my stamina. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get me a treadmill for my stamina. Okay, let me pause right here. I know we give Alexis a lot, and I'm really about to get into it as I get into it when it comes to her. But I don't ever want to hear my man say he going to get on the treadmill so he can get his stamina up. I don't want to hear that. That does not make me want to get it on. That does not make me aroused. I'm going to get on the treadmill so I can work on my stamina. Okay. So while he's saying that, she's like, is there a machine to teach thrusting? When I say my mouth was wide open, y'all, She takes every single opportunity to tear him down. Girl, this will be seen all over the world. Why are you talking about your husband this way? You don't have no respect for him. Like, not none. It's different if you behind closed doors and you saying a little bit. I wouldn't even say that to my spouse. Do you know how that can make a person feel? He's already feeling away because he knows he's not performing to his optimal performance. And then here you are talking about, does it work on thrusting? Child, baby, Justin better than me. Moving forward. Mitch and Kristen with the Y. So they're at home, they're unpacking, and Kristen asked if he had any favorite parts of the weekend. And he was like, you were my favorite part. Oh, that was nice, but I ain't trusting Mitch, okay? And that's just that on that. He was like, I feel like you were in a great mood, having a good time, and it really helped me to see a great side to you that I really do like. And you were able to get some things off of your chest. So he's like, I really like the fun part of you. So then she asked him when he was leaving for his conference. Now, Mitch has to leave for a conference as soon as they got home, right? So he's like, I'm going to leave a little bit later on tonight. He doesn't feel like the timing is ideal, but it's going to show him if they're going to be able to miss each other. He's like, us being in this nice house is not actually what it would be like in the real world. Oh, we know. Y'all would be living in a pigsty regularly, honey, if you go back to that landfill that you live in. So we already know that a nice clean house with clean sheets and a tub that you can put your feet in. No, that's not going to be real life, Mitch. Come on now. We already know it's not. So he was like, it's really hard for me to leave at this time, because I am going to be thinking about what my new life is and what my new life could be with her. A side note, Kristen's nose was as red as Rudolph. Baby, them allergies must be acting up. Do y'all hear me? I said, oh, look at little Kristen. Kristen, the red-nosed reindeer. He got my Kristen with that little red nose. So he feels like the away time would be good for him to be a little bit of his old self. He's like, yeah, I can also be single Mitch. Single Mitch? Sir, you are attached to your wife. Okay? Single and married cannot coexist. And clearly, your single self wasn't all that great because you're here on Married at First Sight. I'm just saying. So she's like, well, in her confessional, to be honest, I'm worried about single Mitch. Girl, don't. You said he only lasted a minute. I wouldn't be worried about him. Once he takes them back to that apartment, it's a wrap. Okay, so you ain't got to worry about that. But y'all know what? One problem I have with Kristen is that she doesn't really speak up as she should sometimes in the moment. She lets Mitch get away with a lot of little things until they become one big thing, and then she explodes. And you're not going to be able to sustain a marriage that way. I'm just saying. Lindy and Miguel. So they're sitting on the couch, honey, color coordinating and whatnot, getting ready to fuss about things that don't make no sense. And Lindy told Miguel that she's so happy that the retreat is over because she hated every minute of it. Child, and I hated every minute of watching it. Okay? These last few episodes have been pure torture. So I can only imagine what you were feeling, honey, because you were actually living it. So he said to her, for him it was scary because he loves her so much, and to have those issues, it really just terrifies him, and he's questioning if it's going to work out. It won't work out. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it won't work out. You're controlling, Miguel, and something is really wrong with you, okay? And also, the two of you have very different views on commitment. So I don't think it's going to work. So Lindy tells him that divorce isn't an option for her. It just goes back to the fundamentals, and it goes back to them being in love. It's no question if he's her person. But there is a question though, Lindy. There's a question because you don't even know if you are going to be able to be yourself. You're not going to be able to be your rude self with Miguel, okay? You're not even going to be able to vent to your friends. So there is a question as to whether or not he's your person. Lindy, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. I think you just don't want to be alone. Now, I don't know. I could be wrong. But you're holding on to something that is toxic. This relationship has become some old bullshit. Okay, I'm just saying. So she's like, every time he says things like that, all I hear is you're not good enough. I don't want you. This isn't worth the work. I want a divorce. Miguel does give up at the first sign of trouble. I have to say that he does give up. I think he likes the idea of this being 8 weeks with a way out. But to his point, the two of you may have different views on levels of commitment, and that may not change. Like, do you really want to deal with him trying to convince him to stay every time y'all get into it? Like, do you really want to go through that? So she's like, I feel like what we were going through was just a tiny hiccup, and you worked through those things. Girl, he is looking for an out. Of course he not going to try to work through those things. He going to bring that up and throw that up in your face every chance he gets. So he was like, well, for you, I'm glad you're saying that it was a tiny hiccup. But for me, I didn't like that feeling. Okay, I didn't like it. And I don't like making you feel that way. So she goes on to say it's unrealistic for him to think that she's going to always say and do the right thing because she does not expect that from him. And that's why she asks for grace. But all she hears is, I don't know if I love you. I don't know if I want you. So if he loves her, he needs to just make it happen. I wouldn't be trying to convince Miguel and his mood swings to do nothing for me. Do y'all hear me? Absolutely nothing. Under different circumstances with a different person, I would say, you know what? Marriage is hard work. Every day you have to wake up and choose to want to be married. Because it's easy to go right on down to that same courthouse you got married in, honey, and file those papers. But with Miguel, he is very anal and very judgy, very critical, very controlling. There are a lot of things, but there are also things with Lindy. Lindy's rude. Lindy's unfocused. She's immature. She's lazy. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. Lindy lazy. Okay? But y'all know what I noticed? Lindy ain't had no home cooked food this episode. Miguel said, hell no. Baby, Chef Boyardee is closed. Do you hear me? Stacia and Nate. So they're on their way to visit, her new home. Emphasis on her, okay? So they're going to visit her new home that he's going to be living in. And so he walks in, baby. He definitely excited. He's like, whoa, this is nice. Ooh, it ain't got no roaches. I'm just kidding. But he did walk in like it was nice. So she was like, yeah, I really want him to feel comfortable in the house, but I'm just a little bit anxious. First of all, what is this Ito Bito refrigerator? Child, what is this little bit of refrigerator y'all got in here? Girl, I think you got this just for filming. She was like, no, I don't want the space to be empty. So child, they found the littlest refrigerator they could find, honey, and slid it on into place. I was like, girl, if you don't get that little bitty miniature fridge out of there, that fridge that's a garage fridge. And honey, I'm gonna need a bigger one than that for the garage. It was cute, but it was too tiny. It was too tiny. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. So they're not in there 5 minutes. And she's like, yeah, so I don't want dirty dishes in the sink. He's like, you act like I'm hella dirty. She said, but you be leaving dishes in the sink. He said, you do too. Oh, well, Nate, she gonna do that, honey, because it's the shared apartment. But her real staged home? Oh, absolutely not, honey. You better not leave a dish, a fork, a spoon, not nothing. So she's like, well, I'm not gonna be leaving them here. So he looking around. They go upstairs. And he's like, well, we're gonna need some blinds for privacy. The whole time he's talking, she's rolling her eyes. Stacia, do you want him in here or you do not? Okay, because really we could use this for Airbnb and you guys could purchase something together with his day trading money. Because if you're not going to allow the man to put his feet on the floor, don't touch this, don't go to the restroom between these hours, don't leave your plate. Like, no. And I'm going to tell you right now, I love a clean place, but I'm going to leave a dish in the sink every now and again. No, it's not going to stay in there for days, but let's just be realistic. Sometimes you're tired. So, I feel like Stacia is treating this man like a kid. That's how I feel. So they go look at the backyard, right? And he said, yeah, we can put, she was like, no, I'm going to put concrete back there. So he suggests grass. And she's like, no, I don't want to deal with the maintenance. He said, it's a small yard. It won't be high maintenance. She's like, and who going to do all that? He said, I can. She said, oh, we can talk about it later. Ma'am, you don't want the man to cut the grass? Like, you don't want him to do nothing. No blinds, no grass. It's a concrete jungle. It's a concrete jungle. They gonna be living in the concrete jungle, child. Baby, this is a fool. Stacia don't want this man to have any input whatsoever. Do y'all hear me? Not none. This is what I think happened. I think Stacia planned out her entire life. And she went ahead and said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and build that dream home and I'm going to insert husband here. But the husband that you are inserting has opinions. Okay, Nate is not the kind to just sit back and be like, baby, whatever you want, decorate it how you want. If you want to, I'm just here. No, that's not Nate. Nate gonna be like, no, I don't like that carpet. I think we should use this. We should do tile. I don't like vinyl. We should do this. He's gonna give his input. So you didn't think it through, honey. If you're gonna get the husband insert here, then you probably should have got with Justin. Okay, because Justin just happened to be here. Okay, he gonna make some stupid decisions and sit back and let you do anything you wanted to do. So we really should have gave Nate to Alexis that he can't stand, okay? Because, baby, I can't wait till we get on that part. And we probably should have given Justin to Stacia because Justin gonna let her do whatever she want to do without any mouth. But I'm with Nate. I love a good manicured lawn. Stacia, you're controlling as well. Maybe you should have got with Miguel. Honey, the matches are not matching. They ain't matching, honey. My fear is this. I feel like she's going to try to emasculate him and remind him on a daily basis that this is her house. Now, she's claiming that she's not going to do that, but I believe that she is. So they go upstairs to look around, right? He's like, ooh, the carpet is white. She's like, yeah, and we're going to wear socks so that the oils from our feet don't mess up the carpet. Oh, baby, if I got to wear socks everywhere I go, if I can't put a dish down, honey, if I have to sit up straight and keep my hands strapped to my lap, I don't want to live with you. Like, girl. Oh, no, ma'am, honey. You should live alone. Maybe y'all should live in separate homes. Stacia, it's going to work for me. Because I'm telling y'all right now, I've told y'all plenty of times, if somebody should ever trick me into marriage again, you will be living in your own home. I'm going to live over here and you going to live over there. Moving forward. So, child, they get upstairs, Nate getting all in the tub, dancing around, reenacting him taking a bath. Then he reenacts him taking a poop. And he's like, babe, hand me some toilet tissue. Okay, it's giving hobosexual. Nate ain't used to nothing at all, child. It's giving hobosexual, honey. It's giving, where can I hook up the PlayStation? So she's like, well, wait a minute. So a house rule is if the toilet paper gets low, then you need to refill it. He said, well, that's common sense. She said, oh, okay, well, then I'm going to make sure I be hitting you with the common sense then. So in the confessional, Nate was like, yeah, we're going to have some growing pains. But, I mean, the place is awesome. It's brand new. It's nice. I mean, it's going to be hard for her to relinquish control, but I'm going to roll with the punches. I'm sure you are. Child, I do not see this going well, okay? Nate ready to hook up that day trading laptop, and he ain't fooling me. He ain't fooling me. So she's like, I don't like stains and stuff on the walls because they're sitting down. He's like, I don't like stains and stuff on the walls either. And I'm trying to figure out who does like stains and stuff on the walls, unless you're just nasty. Oh, I'm sorry. Mitch like stains and stuff on the wall. My bad. So she's like, well, I'm just saying. So he said, well, if we have kids, I'm concerned about the safety of this house because things are going to get dirty. She's like, no, I'm going to teach my kids not to touch anything. Oh, man, well, honey, you don't need kids, okay? Because you can teach them what you want to teach them, but kids will be kids and it will get dirty, like really dirty. Like, just let them tear the whole house up and wait till they go to sleep at the end of the night for you to clean it up, only for it to happen again the next day, dirty. I'm telling you from experience. She's like, well, my mom taught us, don't go in that formal living room. Don't go in that formal dining room. Now, I ain't gonna lie. In the 80s, it was like that because my parents have a formal dining room still to this day and a formal living room. And we know not to sprawl out on the couch. But today's youth is different. And they ain't listening to none of that. I can tell my son, don't touch this. He gonna touch it. Because, I mean, that's just what kids do. And those babies gonna have high anxiety. Child, they gonna be scared. It's gonna be too much. He's like, well, what if they're hard-headed like me? Kids touch things and they draw on the walls. They sure do, honey. Because my son drew a nice little self-portrait at age 3. Baby, I came in there and then had enough nerve to draw it underneath the bed. Child, I'm pulling something from underneath the bed. I look over to my left and I said, not a drawing on my walls. When I tell y'all I was pissed, but then I remembered back to when I was a kid and I did get them crayons, okay? And I did draw me a little self-portrait myself. So kids are going to do that. So Stasia's like, well, I'm going to be watching them. And child, she in for a rude awakening. Moving forward. In the next scene, Justin is on his way to pick up his dog. About time. He said, he's doing what he has to do as a man and as a husband, and he's making a decision. You're making a stupid decision, Justin. You're not thinking these things through. I know you think that this sounds good, but this is one of the worst decisions in Married at First Sight history. It's just a crazy decision. He's like, yeah, I'm giving him to my friend Chris, who's coming down to get him. I'm just happy you're getting him out of that doggy prison. Okay, that's what I'm happy about. He was like, I mean, he had a bad moment, but he's a good dog. He's protected me when I didn't even think I needed protecting. So did he bite somebody in defense of you? He's like, I'm just sad. My question is this, why couldn't they have hired a trainer? Not this prison they sent him to, but an actual trainer that's going to get him together. Remember when Jacob and Haley put their dogs together and they had that little fight? They were able to figure things out. The same with Brett and Ryan, I believe. I think their dogs had a little bit of a scuffle. Like, you can correct it. She just don't want nobody in there, not even you, okay? All she wants is her and Newton. So he was like, he just had a bad moment. So they're on their way back to the apartment. So he's telling us that he's going to keep Maya in the kennel and Alexis is going to stay at her place. Alexis really irks me. She really, really irks me. She is treating Maya like Miguel is trying to treat Lindy. You make one mistake and you're gone, honey. You're done. Baby, you make one mistake and you're done. He was like, I really want her to be there. And, I feel like we can keep the dog separate. She was not even able to support him in the last moments with his dog, knowing he gonna be broken up about it. Child, Alexis cannot be trusted. Stacia and Nate. So they go to the store to shop for hardware. Child, I almost thought it was a PetSmart the way this dog ran up to the door. I was like, what is this, PetSmart? Child, he done convinced her to get a dog. But I should have known they weren't gonna get no dog, honey, because how dare a dog come up and through Stasia's pristine place? All that white everywhere, honey. What is this, a Diddy video? Child, I'm done. So as they're looking at the handles and the knobs and whatnot, she's like, babe, this is my thing. This is my thing. I'm like so excited. Like it's really making me excited. So she's trying to pretend to involve him. But we all know she is not choosing nothing Nate likes. He's like, what about this? She's like, oh, it's giving that 70s show. Oh, yes, babe, that's nice. Honey, she don't like none of it. She's like, I'm not trying to dominate things. Like, I just want it to be what we want. Now, you said it right the first time, what you want. So in the confessional, he was just like, it's very important for me to have my personality in the home because otherwise I'm going to feel like I'm just living in her house. So she's telling him, yeah, I'm willing to have your input. He said, okay, well, I'll give you 50% input and I'll let you prioritize things. I say, what now? So you'll let her decide which room to decorate first? That didn't make sense to me. I was a little bit confused as Stacia was. What do you mean you're going to allow her to prioritize things? Now, she ain't letting you have no input. So I understand your frustration there, but sir, what are you saying? So she trying to get an understanding. He explains it to her, but by this time, he's like, you know what? This is exactly what I thought this was going to be. I'm done. I don't want to shop no more. 6 days until decision day. Alexis and Justin. So Justin is getting some quality time with Maya now that she's out of the Michael Myers jail. Honey, y'all know it's spooky season. Y'all know when I seen them boots, all I could think about was Michael Myers. So now that Maya is out of the Michael Myers jail, honey, they're spending some time together. So his friend Chris arrives and Justin said, that Chris is the only other person that he loves more than him. So Justin is telling Chris, your girl was so stoked about Maya coming, said that Maya was going to be in good company and y'all were going to really take care of him. So Chris was like, yeah, we were thinking about getting a dog. Chris, don't get too attached, honey, because he's definitely going to need to come get her for emotional support. So I don't want you thinking that y'all might want to get another dog on top of Maya. Okay, because Justin gonna be coming looking for his dog. I'm just telling you right now. So Justin is telling Chris, I just never thought that I would be giving up my dog for anybody, but marriage is more serious. This marriage ain't. Okay, Alexis can't be trusted as far as she can be thrown. And you can sit here and give up your dog if you want to, but see, Justin ain't no fool. Okay, he gave it to a friend. So you can go over to your friend and ask for your dog back. Moving forward. Chris is like, yeah, it's hard. It's like your wife or the dog. So then Alexis shows up and he was like, well, I didn't think you were going to be able to make it. She's like, yeah, I couldn't let you go through this alone. Girl, please. You don't care about emotionally supporting him. You just want to make sure Maya is gone so you and Newton can come back and you ain't fooling me. You don't care nothing about how this man feels. Nothing. Seeing Justin put Maya in that car, y'all, that really broke my heart. That dog literally made one mistake after being thrown into a situation that neither dog or the owners were prepared for. Y'all didn't even give him another chance. Like, if those two stay together, Justin will resent her. And it's already starting. The poor baby looked so sad during that drive away. Justin, you don't deserve Maya. You don't deserve her because you don't make wise decisions. So, therefore, and thus and such, Chris might be the better place for Maya. Alexis ain't been around this whole time, but now she's disguising it as support for him now that Maya is leaving. Girl gone. So they're sitting down on the couch, right? And I see Justin has a cat. Child, I hope you don't give that one away. He has a cat, but it's not Maya. And Alexis is trying to make light of the situation, talking about, well, you said Chris is one other person that he loves a little bit, more than you or just as much as you. So it's going to be fine. And you can go and visit. I've never been in your shoes, but I'm here for whatever support you need. And yeah, right. You ain't never been in his shoes and you're going to make sure that you're never in his shoes because you will have the final say. So Justin was like, well, I just hope that you see that me making this decision, that means I'm serious. Like I'm putting my all in it. Like this is like a huge sacrifice for me. She's like, yeah, I hear you. It's big, but please don't throw it in my face, okay? I feel like you're going to be holding it over my head. You've mentioned it countless times. You've given your dog away. Okay. Girl, how dare you be like, okay. Girl. So you just going to sit up here and be like, okay, you did it, but it's not that big of a deal. It is a big deal to him. It's a big deal. But Justin, I got to get on you. You're making decisions in hopes of a yes on decision day. Either she likes you or she doesn't. Your dog will not be the deciding factor. But you did play yourself. That's just the point blank in the period. She's like, I mean, I value it, but respectfully, I don't give a damn. Honey, that's basically what she said. Alexis, your husband is hurting, honey. And you're like, okay, I get it, but dang, I don't care. Alexis, you're trifling, honey. It's giving trife. He said, I chose the marriage because I feel like it's worth it. It's time for a new chapter in our lives. Sir, go get your damn dog. Okay, maybe they haven't gotten on the highway yet. Maybe they might still be at the light. Maybe he stopped for some gas. Honey, text him, call him, beep him if you want to reach him, because you need to go get your damn dog. Because Alexis is not saying yes. And that's just that on that. Kristen with the Y and Mitch. They have a FaceTime chat, right? Because, he's out of town for the conference. This didn't really give much. He said he's having fun, but he can't wait to get home to be with them. She asked if he missed the dog snoring. Child, he said no. I guess the dog has sleep apnea. Honey, I'm not sure exactly what's going on. He said no, he don't miss that, but he does miss Kristen and all the things that they share. And so Kristen says she's looking forward to him coming home, and her finding a father figure for Luna is very important. Mitch is a human, right? Oh, okay. A father figure. Girl, goodbye. Moving forward. Lindy and Miguel. Sure. So they working out. Well, he's working out while Lindy stands on the side, clapping and cheering. I understand, girl. I hate working out as well. I can't stand to work out. Oh, child, I hate it. But you got to keep your heart healthy, so you got to get up and move and groove at some point. So they go back upstairs, and Lindy's insurance papers are there. So he presents her with the insurance papers, and she's like, yay, I can go to the doctor. Lindy, you need to get it together. I feel like you came on here to get a full physical on the slick, and you ain't fooling me. And since you can go to the doctor finally, the first one should be a therapist. Okay? I'm just saying. So she's like, this is really a big deal because I feel like that's going to make me start to feel more comfortable. So she said it makes her feel cared for. Hyphenating her name is not going to be that big of an issue. So he was asking her, what is the ongoing composition? Like, what's the problem? And she said she wants to feel even more secure and have each other's back because changing her name is a big deal and she doesn't want to go back on it. So he goes, well, how into you are this? She said, well, really, my doubt comes from you because you're ready to jump ship before we even try. She said, I'm doing this for you because this makes you happy. I'm doing it for you. I'm happy being LOA forever. He gonna say, well, keep it that way then. What just happened? Y'all literally argue over anything. Miguel, your mood swings are something else. I wouldn't be able to handle that. Can you understand the fear behind her changing her last name? Instead of talking it out, you get defensive. The two of you try to bully each other into making decisions. She did that same thing with the insurance. Y'all cannot bully each other into saying, okay, the insurance, sure. Okay, the last name, sure. Y'all ain't gonna last, child. Stacia and Nate, Alexis and Justin. So Stacia and Alexis, they go to do yoga, and Justin and Nate, they go to the gym. So Alexis asks about Stacia and Nate living together. Stacia's telling her that they're moving in, and, they went to look at the hardware of it all, and he was picking out some god-awful stuff that she did not like. She was like, but I want him to be comfortable living there. I'm sure you do. So she was like, I feel like us going to the hardware store, it scared him because it made it real. No. It scared him because you were basically showing him the future by not letting him have any input. He know you're going to try to control everything, honey. That's what was scaring him. It was not the hardware. I can assure you that. Back over with Justin and Nate in their matching white t-shirts, Justin tells him that, in the middle of the day, he just needed some affirmation from Alexis. He needed to know that she was going to say yeah. So he texted her. He asked her what she was going to say, and in true Alexis fashion, she started to deflect, making up words and whatnot through the text messages, honey, stuff that you can't even spell check. The smartphone can't even pick it up. So he asked her, and she basically was like, yeah, about that. And he said when he gave Maya away, he felt like they were going to be together. That was going to be a definite yes. Justin, you should have asked her this through text, phone, smoke signal, or whatever before you strapped Maya in that doggy car seat. You should have asked Alexis this a long time ago. Basically, Justin got that BS that Alexis likes to offer, Meanwhile, she's over there talking to Stacia, telling her that Justin texted her during her workday wanting confirmation. Back over with him, he felt for her to be so direct about everything else and not communicate her doubts, it's almost like she didn't want to hurt his feelings. That's exactly what it is. And Justin, she gave you her feelings when she sat down and talked to you in front of Dr. Pia. Those were her true feelings. Back over with her, she's telling Stacia that he texted, but since she isn't sure of her answer, then his answer may be a no. And she was like, I feel like his answer is dependent on my answer. First of all, I want to say this. That could have waited till she got home. Don't text me nothing serious during my workday. Like things like that while I'm working or when I'm about to go to bed. I don't like to talk about serious issues. It disturbs my sleep and it disturbs my work. Justin, you could have waited. Yes, I understand you wanted confirmation in that moment, but you already know how Alexis is. She's a bunch of fluff. So I feel like you should have waited on that. Back over with him, he said he asked her how she felt just the other day, and she said she felt good, and now she's switching up on him. So Nate gets in the confessional, which is my favorite time, when it's always time to talk about Alexis. And he was like, I feel like Alexis is immature and she's a liar. She's leading him on because everything else she's upfront with, but not this. I love when Nate gets her together, baby, because it's all true. Facts on facts on facts. It's all facts. Everything that he's saying is true. She's an immature liar, and she is stringing this man along. So she's over there telling Stacia, I'm just scared because of his outburst, and we've changed some things, but then some things aren't changing. And I feel like we need to work on ourselves because once I get pregnant, it's going to be too late. And if we haven't come to like an agreement, it's going to be bad. Well, honey, according to you, his thrust won't allow for that to happen. So you ain't got to worry about getting pregnant, honey. If he can't thrust it, he can't make no baby. Alexis is full of crap. Your lady parts do not jump for that man. You're not his wife. You just play one on TV. Moving forward. Back over with him, he said, if he would have gotten that answer that he got from Alexis through that text message, and it would have been a yes, he would have been okay. But with this, he feels like he's been blindsided. Well, honey, a blind man could see that Alexis wasn't feeling you like that. He said he's taking his emotions out of it, though. He said, you know what? I came up with my answer. I've taken my emotions out of it. I see it for what it is. And now I know what I'm going to say on decision day. Ooh, baby. Have y'all noticed that Justin ain't cried in at least 5 episodes? That's good. I'm so proud of you. Shout out to Drake. Moving forward. Stacia and Nate. So they're going on a hike. And he said, hiking is something that he loves because it quiets his mind. So as they're walking, Stacia tells him, that she wants to continue to do things like this. He's like, well, we can't do much if we're going to have a newborn. And she's like, well, yeah, I think we can do both. And girl, good luck. So they go have a seat and they're making guacamole. Honey, that made me want some, child. I got to go make me some. Anywho, that's just a side note. So he's asking her, what does she think is fun about having a baby? And she was like, well, I don't want to be all about the baby and no fun. Like, I actually still want to live life. So Nate says in the confessional that his idea of fun is not a newborn baby. Now, I have to say this. I see both points. Your old version of fun, Stacia, is no longer. Okay, it's a new way to have fun. But you also don't want being a parent to consume you. Like, you don't want to lose yourself. But girl, I'm telling you right now, Coco Melon and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse will dominate your house and your brain. I'm still around here saying, hot dog, hot diggity dog, honey. Mickey and the gang will be in rotation. So I don't know what type of fun you think you about to have, honey. And the walls ain't gonna be white. Okay? Stacia, you watch too much TV, honey. So she asked him what he envisioned. And he said he envisions going hard as a dad, especially from 0 to 3. She's like, so no vacation? He said, we can still do a vacation, but for a week with a newborn, that is a lot. It is. Even with an older child, it's a lot. I decided to take my son to Disney World. I think he was 4 years old. No, he was 3. And when I tell y'all, that was the most stressful trip that I've ever taken in my life. And I had an entire family surrounding me. This was a family trip. Extended family, my brother, my sister, everybody was there, okay? When I tell you that nobody offered help, I'm like, please hold him, honey, while I get the snack out the fanny pack. Please, somebody grab his hand so I can pee. Like, Stacia, you're not thinking things through, honey. Unless you hire a nanny that's going to travel with you, you will not be having the fun that you think you are having, even on the family vacations. It's hard work. I feel like Nate talking with some sense, honey. I might be the only one, but I feel like he is. And she was like, well, it's your baby. So in the confessional, she's like, I'm just not sure if he's going to be ready in a year, and I'm really disappointed. So she asked him if he's nervous about all the changes and the transitions that are going to happen after decision day. So, I mean, I guess she's basically letting him know that she's going to be saying yes. And he said, yeah, I'm nervous about it. Do I have cold feet? No, but I'm doing things I've never done. We're going to be combining our finances, moving in together. These are all big steps. She was like, yeah, but it's going to be different, but I'm excited and I'm optimistic. He said, okay, what if I get on your nerves? She said, you already do get on my nerves. He said, okay, but I'm in your house and I'm on your nerves. She's like, well, you're already with me all the time. Girl, you know that ain't the same. Him being in this shared apartment and him being in this space that you built from the ground up and picked out every light fixture, doorknob, and door, it's not the same. So she's like, well, what's the difference between the house and the apartment? He said, I'm in your house and I'm going to feel vulnerable because it's your house. So she was like, well, what can I do to make you comfortable? So he asked her, would she ever kick him out? And she said, no. Child, please. I can see her getting annoyed already and placing his laptop on the outside. I really can. I made that mistake once. I really did. And that's a story time, y'all. I think I'm going to have to bring that story time to my Patreon. But I made that exact same mistake. And he put me out as soon as he got mad. As soon as he got mad. Baby, I said never again. People will say anything in the moment when they're happy with you and everything is fine. But you never know what a person is capable of. I'm not saying that Stacia will throw this in his face, but you just never know when people are mad. I quite frankly don't believe it. He's like, well, my fear is if things end, then where do I go? I'm going to be homeless. Well, child, you can go back to that Airbnb and you better hope they have a week free because you know them B&Bs, they fill up fast. You better make sure. The cool child, you better make sure that same Airbnb is available. I'm just saying. Lindy and Miguel. So they're sitting around looking silly, child, wearing these costumes and headdresses and whatnot. And her friends come over because they're going to play a game of Dungeons and Dragons. I hope that helps to get the stick out of Miguel's butt, honey, because he done had an attitude for I don't know how long. So Miguel starts explaining the game, right? So then he starts saying all this stuff. Child, I'm so lost, okay? It's an automatic no for me based on this alone, okay? The no on decision day will be automatic because I don't know what the hell is happening with the Dungeons and Dragons of it all. So they start playing the game, but I feel like Miguel is throwing out subliminals on the slick and he ain't fooling me. Because they're talking about marriage and this person showing up at the altar and they don't really want to get married and they want to run and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, Miguel, you're passive aggressive, okay? And I see right through you. Lindy is completely confused, but girl, you better be paying attention. Somebody get Justin on the line, child, because we need a good game of Monopoly. We don't need this Dungeons and Dragons, child. It ain't what's supposed to be gave, honey. Lindy was like, I feel like Miguel is talking about us in this game. Oh, child, and is. Moving forward. Mitch and Kristen with the Y. So, baby, they on their way to the beach, right? So they riding around in the car. The Mitch is back. In the car, Mitch is telling her that he feels, hungover because, they went to the bar. They went to do karaoke, but he did think about her. She's like, so is your ring in the car? He's like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. I'm married again. There is no reason for your ring to be off. I would have been so irate. I would have been pissed. She's like, were you not married? He's like, well, I was married to my close friends that I know. He's like, but I wasn't ready to be married in front of the entire company. I would have had to been forced to do a presentation with slides. Mitch, don't nobody care about you like that, honey. That is some BS. So Kristen asked if there were any cute girls on the trip. He's like, well, no, you know what? I don't even see women anymore. They're all dog ugly compared to you. I don't see them. So then he's like, but no, seriously though, there's always cute beach girls. When you go on one of these conferences, I'm a dude amongst ladies. There are only a few guys and beautiful ladies everywhere. Kristen, are you just going to sit there and say nothing? Mitch, why would you say that when she just felt insecure about the way that you think of her appearance? Why would you sit and say, oh, it's cute girls everywhere. I'm just the one guy amongst all these cute girls. Why would you say that? So he's like, after the show is the after party and after the party is the hotel lobby. For Mitch to be so aware, okay, does he not realize we don't fool with R. Kelly and his music? Mitch, keep up. Moving forward. So they make it to the beach and Kristen said, she's not happy about the ring, but she's going to let it go. That's the issue. Then you boil over afterwards. We don't want to hear it no more, Kristen, okay? Him not wearing that ring, that's unacceptable, honey. And his excuse, it sucked. I would have to do a presentation. You're a grown man. They look at your finger. Oh, you got married. I did. I'll fill you guys in on it a little bit later. That's all. Child, anyway. So after they got done surfing, Kristen tells him, their marriage is a lot like surfing. It can be choppy, but once you get over the waves, it's peaceful. So Mitch said this week it's been a struggle because it's the old him, but he likes coming back to Kristen, but he feels like he's torn between his two lives. If it were that great, you wouldn't even be here. Let's just think about that. Moving forward. In the lounge, Miguel is with his friend at the apartment, right? And Lindy is with hers. So she's telling her friend that he was consistent, but the last few weeks it's been horrible. Well, he has been consistently horrible since the retreat. So, he's keeping the consistency, honey. It just ain't the consistency that you like. So Miguel is telling his friend that they've been having big miscommunication issues and it makes him insecure and he feels like they may not be right for each other. Now, mind you, he is talking to his friend as well. Okay? Y'all keep up with that. So Lindy tells her that, she feels like he wants her to be the wife that he wants. He's like, he's offended that I'm aggressive or I cut him off or that I'm too emotional. Anything that defines me as a human, he's dampering it. Lindy, all those definitive characteristics suck. Okay? Nobody wants to deal with an aggressive, overly emotional, rude person. Nobody. Okay? I feel like you got to explain a little bit better than that, honey, because the explaining ain't splaining, honey. That don't make no sense. She's like, I feel like I have to bend over backwards for him. Lindy, oh, child. Side note. That friend looks scary as hell. Baby, the two of you may need to be in a padded cell having this conversation, because, baby, that... That friend looks scary. Miguel better be careful, honey. That friend seemed like you may come up missing. Okay, we're going to see you on the back of a milk carton. So he's over there telling his friend that right now, the relationship between him and Lindy, it ain't working for him. Back over with her, she's like, he wants me to be a blow-up doll, like have no emotion, not say anything. I'm at my breaking point. She's like, I'm afraid to talk to him about certain things because I'm afraid that he's going to leave me. So her friend tells her, if he leaves you, girl, he wasn't your person. Exactly, scary friend. If you try and be what you think that he wants you to be, it will never last. If you're rude as hell, you're rude as hell. So you're going to have to find you somebody that accepts you being rude as hell, but you really need to grow up, Lindy. Okay, in some aspects, you need to grow up. So she tells her, it's worse to stay if it's not working. Lindy, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. Miguel is not it. Y'all just don't compliment each other. You look nice together, but it's just not working. So Lindy was like, I'm just so hurt because I've had the same person for so many weeks and now he's different. Well, child, the representatives are now gone. That's it. Nate and Stacia. So we see them walking in and Nate is talking about the kid thing again. It's like one of those moments where it's not being filmed, but it is being filmed. And so he's talking again about them having fun and having kids. Nate is not ready for kids at this juncture. He's just not. There are a lot of things he needs to work through, and I don't think he's keeping it real with Stacia and just letting her know, I'm not in the mood to have kids right now. I want to enjoy you. Just tell her that. Stacia, you need to slow down. This is too many changes all at once. It's overwhelming. Like, it's just too much. So she's saying that him not having a mom is making him think that she's going to abandon her kids because he thought her idea of fun was drinking and going to the bars, but she doesn't even do that now. She's confused why he's confused. Honey, I'm confused. Let's move on. Moving forward. So the gang is getting together. Well, Alexis and Justin and Mitch and Kristen. It's a double date. So Kristen said that she's closest with Alexis. Child, who would have thunk it? That is a very odd pairing. So they play a game of ping pong where Justin was the MVP. Justin, you look good. You need to dress like this more often. It was giving, I'm going to hang out. I don't know if Alexis picked that outfit out or what was going on, but you actually looked very nice. So they sit down and Kristen starts talking about when Mitch went to the work conference. And so Alexis was like, well, did y'all miss each other? He said, yeah, I did miss Kristen. And while I was away, she was on my mind. So he goes, yeah, I was lonely in my hotel room. So Kristen goes, was there a jacuzzi? He said, yeah, we had a hot tub committee and I wasn't wearing my ring. So Kristen in the confessional, she's like, I trust him. Alexis asked Mitch, why weren't you wearing your ring? Why? Well, honey, I can tell you this. Her and Justin gonna bond tonight. Alexis and Justin gonna bond over this mess if they don't do nothing else. So he gonna say, well, the CEO and the boss, they would ask me to, make it a big deal. Mitch, what the hell are you talking about? People wouldn't even notice that you had that ring on. Nobody watches you in that way. Now, I don't know if you're the big man on campus when it comes to your work, but like I stated earlier, you could have just said, yeah, I got married. That's it. You ain't got to tell the world because really don't nobody care. They just want to know that you're married. Okay, you're married? Okay, now I know I got to move over this way. So Alexis asked if Kristen was upset about it. So child, she trying to play it cool and whatnot. So then he's like, well, I had my ring on, but it was my C ring. His rock ring. Y'all replace the R with the C, okay? Because I got to get this monetized, okay? Mitch is making jokes to deflect so that he don't have to answer the tough questions. Boy gone. Kristen said, you give a minute or less anyway. So that's probably why Kristen ain't really worried about you not having on no ring, child. And that's just that on that. So Kristen asks what they did, and Justin tells them, about the dog going away. And so Alexis brings up them talking about decision day. And she was like, I told him I was at 90%, but that 10%, it speaks to me heavily. Girl, you're at 90% unsure and 10% sure. Stop trying to twist it around and confuse us, because honey, you ain't fooling me. So she was like, my answer shouldn't mean anything. It shouldn't mean that he's not going to say yes on decision day, because I don't. Now, maths experts, please ask Justin his decision first, because I already know how this is about to go. Okay? I feel like Alexis is going to come out with the smoking gun, and she's gonna say no, and she's gonna start giving all these answers and all this stuff, and then Justin gonna have to say his decision afterwards, and it's gonna make him look a fool. So if you would just do us a favor and allow Justin to go first. I know ladies first, but honey, in this case, we gonna need Justin to go first. Him and his blouses, they gonna have to go first. So then Mitch asked if 90% was good enough, and Justin said no. Child, even though it's a passing grade, Justin said no, 90% is not good enough for me. So then he said if she would have told him that she was at 90% before he gave his dog away, that would have been different. And he feels like he made that decision for nothing. Well, Justin, that's your fault. You can't fault her for that. She didn't make you give your dog away. You decided that you were going to give your dog away because you felt like that's the husbandly thing to do. That's me honoring my wife. You did that. Like, you should have never given your dog away. She's like, well, you want me to be at 100% because you gave your dog away? You don't want it to be because I love you and I care about you? Oh my goodness, honey. We're going to talk about her on the live. He said, well, that was a huge sacrifice that I made for the marriage, and I just needed that affirmation. She's like, I mean, I could have said yeah, but a yes followed by a but is not really a yes. So Justin said, decision day is a week away. Either you know or you don't. She knows. She just ain't telling you. She going to tell the experts. Moving forward. Kristen tried to make light of Justin giving his dog away, which I really didn't appreciate, because Kristen, you already know if he told you to give a heavy breathing Luna away, you would have a full on fit. You can't wear mascara and your dog gone. I don't like how you tried to make it seem like, well, I'm at 90% as well. So, I mean, I kind of understand. No, Kristen, that's not cool. Lindy and Miguel, baby, this right here was a fool. So the friends leave, right? And Miguel and Lindy, they're talking. So she tells him, she had to speak to Gabby to express her feelings, and she's not going to apologize for that. So Miguel is like, I would never talk negatively about Lindy with my friends. Okay, Morgan, but you did. Okay? She was venting the same as you were. You even went so far as to say, this right here ain't going to work for me. You said that. So what are you talking about? He's like, I mean, it seemed like whatever you said to her was pretty heavy, and I don't like being made out to be the villain. So this is about you looking good to others. That's what this is about. So Lindy said, well, every time the experts come in, I'm the villain, and I wasn't cheating on you. I was just telling her how I felt. I was expressing myself. That's not fair. So she says she feels like she can't express herself to him, so she has to do it with her friends. So he's like, it's too much. Okay, I can't do this two-faced relationship where you say one thing to my face and then you're talking behind my back. He's like, to be honest, this is insight into who you actually are as a person. Lindy, don't walk but run. When I say don't walk but run far, far away from Mr. Miguel, honey, he's not it. He's gaslighting the hell out of you, and he's controlling and manipulating. Please get away from this man. So now she can't talk to her girlfriends when you were sitting there talking to this woman. So in the confessional, he's like, if she's venting about me, it should be to me. Why? Why should it be to you? So you can bite her head off? Why should she vent to you? And anybody that gets in the comments and says, well, she should come to him. No, that's unrealistic. We all vent to our friends. Now, it's not good because you don't want to drag people into the marriage, because when things go right, then they're still looking at the negative things that the spouse did that you told them about. I understand that. But we all have vented to a girlfriend or a parent or somebody. So, Miguel, you're trying to control this woman, and that's just that on that. So she tells him that she's not going to apologize for venting, but she feels like she's filtering herself so much when she talks to him. Lindy, you are torturing yourself. You have been crying since the retreat, and now you're crying now. He's sitting there with his arms folded up, telling you when to talk to and how to talk and who to talk it to. It should be over. These two should say no on decision day, and that was the end of the episode. Child, y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you think about Alexis saying, you gave your dog away, and so what? After this man gave his heart away in animal form. That's what you gotta say? What do y'all think about Miguel trying to control who Lindy talks to? It's giving Morgan. Child, I thought we got rid of her. You should have been matched with Morgan. Child, this is a whole fool. I will meet y'all over on the live at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time tonight, where we can get into it as we get into it. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.